Hey guys, welcome back to another video where we are going to look at a new feature which enables importing data from Excel or CSV file to a data grid. Over the last few years, we have made a lot of investment on the Excel integration, which ranges from supporting Excel as a data source for form-based apps to form-enabled Excel sheets, generating data entities using data in Excel, Excel read and write activities, exporting data to CSV from a form, importing data from Excel to a subform, etc. We now take it a notch up by supporting importing data from Excel or CSV file to a data grid, which was a highly requested feature from within our customer base. While using this feature, it is advised to keep the Excel file size to a reasonable level, for example 5 megabytes, to avoid excessive data parsing load on the form, and also the number of rows to be imported to be kept at a reasonable level, for example less than 100 rows, to avoid putting too much stress on the form as it has to render those many rows and columns. For larger files, you should consider alternatives like using process model to read rows from Excel and map them back to underlying system directly. Let's look at this feature in action. So I'm in my Agile Point portal right now. And if I navigate to App Builder, click on All Apps. I've created a sample app over here called Customer Order Management. There's a form within this app called Submit Form. I'm going to put it in edit mode. As you can see, the form has a top level section where I capture some generic customer information like name, email, phone, age, address, city, and state. And then there is a repeating section over here which is in form of a data grid which captures the order details of the orders which are entered by this customer. The order detail grid has customer ID column, order date, product, quantity, unit price, and total. If I put this grid in edit mode, the configuration is pretty much like any other grid. It has a bunch of columns where I allow add, delete, and edit. If I go to advanced, we always had an option to export data as CSV. I've enabled that. Now you see a new option, allow import from Excel or CSV. So I've enabled that feature as well. Now I've published this application out. I'm going to go to Work Center, the app itself. Now I can fill in some top level customer information. It is bound to a data entity. So the moment I selected the customer called John Smith, his information is pre-populated over here. Now I could manually start entering the records by clicking the new record button. However, now you see a new option, import Excel or CSV. You can click on that button. Now, if you do not have an Excel or CSV file right now, you can always download it as a template, as a starting point. If I open that Excel, you can see here is the Excel sheet with no data. It has the header, which is available. You can enter this data and import it. However, in my case, I already have an Excel sheet with 2 rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say select file, order details, and click import. Now, before I click import, one thing you will notice is that once I browsed and located this file and uploaded it, it is directly showing me an import button. The reason for that is the column names in the Excel have exactly matched the column names in my data grid. Now, for sake of convenience, if I wanted to see the mapping, I can click on view mapping and all of the columns are mapped one to one over here. However, I don't have to look at the mapping itself. I could have directly just clicked on the import button from here. And as you can see, the 2 rows from my Excel got imported within my form. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a scenario where the columns name do not match. So I'm going to delete these 2 rows. I have a blank grid right now. And I'm going to go back to an Excel sheet which I have. And I'm going to change the last column from total to total 1. So the names do not match anymore. If I now go back to my form, say import Excel or CSV, select the file, select my Excel file. Now the thing which you notice is I'm not seeing the view mapping button or the import button. Instead, it is showing me the next button. If I go ahead and click next, It is showing me that some of the column names match, so those have been auto mapped, but the last one, total, it didn't find a matching name, so I have to go ahead and provide my mapping, in this case total to total 1, and click import, and it went ahead and imported the data. So that brings us to the end of this video. Now, as you can see, you can import a data from an existing Excel sheet into your data grid. Thanks a lot for your time.